If you own a home, hurricanes and floods might be your top concerns when it comes to weather-related damage, but new research reveals there's a bigger threat. According to the climate risk modeling firm First Street, severe convection storms like tornadoes, hail, powerful winds linked to climate change resulted in $82 billion in economic losses globally in 2025. The firm says that accounts for almost a third of total natural catastrophe losses and more than any other weather risk. $68 billion in losses alone were related to storm outbreaks in the U.S., $7 billion in Europe. Jeremy Porter is the chief economist at the climate modeling firm First Street. Thank you for being here. So what exactly are convective storms, and why is that in many cases they're more damaging and problematic than things like earthquakes and hurricanes?
Yeah, severe convective storms are just a collection of storms that we're all familiar with. So things like tornadoes, hail events, straight line wind events, or just those thunderstorms that come through communities. In short, they're short, intense, really violent storms that are driven by atmospheric instability. And the thing that makes them more worrisome right now, some of the stats that you pointed out were really focused on the growth in losses and the disproportionate amount of losses attached to them. But the fact that they tend to be these broad events, when a hailstorm comes through, everything in a community gets damaged. And that's different from a wildfire. That's different from a flood, where you might see certain parts of the community or certain neighborhoods or elevation play a role in what gets damaged. So it really is that large, widespread impact that we're seeing from these severe convective storms.
What does this mean for homeowners?
For homeowners, it's a really direct impact. We've been talking a lot about affordability. When you think about what homeowners expect to pay for their home, the core components of homeownership, principal, interest, taxes, there's some expectation around what those costs will be. Insurance rates are where we're seeing severe convective storms start to show up as tangible costs from these types of events. And ultimately, what people were expecting to pay when they took out their mortgage, they're not seeing anymore. It's making their homes unaffordable, and we're seeing insurance premiums increase in places where we maybe wouldn't have expected them to increase in the past.
Can you give us some examples? Is this basically like a larger American problem and maybe not just in places where we would see tornadoes?
Yeah, it is. It's a much larger problem. For years, when we looked at the insurance data, we would see this big swath of insurance premium increases in the middle of the country, northern Texas, all the way up into Minnesota, stretching over into Illinois, Ohio, Tennessee, even into North Carolina. And we, as researchers, you would look at that and you would say, there's not wildfires there. There's not many floods there. Why are we seeing these big insurance increases? What was that dramatic increase in hail and other severe convective storms that we've seen in that area that are driving that?
Jeremy Porter, thank you.